Hi, Adam McKenzie here, and welcome again to our Strong and Sexy studio. And the topic for today is about taking action and about action steps. So regardless of how you're feeling at the moment and the certain things that have been happening within your life, either at the moment, previously, or things that are coming up within your life, I still want you to be able to take action towards working towards your goals and getting the best results possible. So just like we did when we were talking about making change, and hopefully you've watched that video and had a look at another beautiful chart I had here in terms of breaking down exactly how to make change and how to get the results that you want. This sort of ties into that quite a bit, and what I want to do is again break down for you some of the ways that you can practically go about, all right, taking action regardless of how you're feeling. And without generalizing too much here, because I have specialized working with women for so many years, one of the things that I definitely recognized early on is that females and women in general, all right, will tend to attach a lot more emotions to everything that they do. And maybe that's because you're more aware of the emotions that you have and you don't hide them as much. It's not a negative comment in any way at all. All it is something that I've recognized that is one of the main reasons why it's often hard to be able, as a woman, to focus on really what you want to achieve and how to go about it, because there are so many emotions involved and because you are feeling the way that you're feeling about yourself or about certain things that you're trying to achieve and work on. So what I want to do is show you that regardless of those emotions, regardless of how you're feeling right now, you're still going to end up with a happy face down here. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. All right, and with any emotion, similar to what I said in the How to Change a video, you want to recognize what that emotion is and where it comes from. For example, often when somebody says, I can't do something, or I can't lose weight, or I can't do that, or that's not for me, or I don't like it, all right, often you got to have a look, okay, what's the emotion behind those thoughts and the way that you're feeling? And often that emotion will be fear, all right? Fear of change, fear of the unknown, fear of, I guess, your ability to be able to commit to what you want to achieve. And until you recognize that these are the emotions behind what you're trying to do, it's often really hard to be able to change, because you don't really know why you're feeling the way that you're feeling and what's attached to that. And I don't expect you all to sit there and be able to analyze yourself, but sometimes take a big deep breath, think about, okay, what's really behind why I feel the way that I feel? And I've had some amazing conversations with clients, and one of their biggest fears in life is not being able to be around for their children, not living past the age of 40 or 50 because they have a history of heart disease in their family, not wanting their children to grow up being overweight and ending up with diabetes because they've been following the same patterns that you've been, I guess, highlighting to them and the way that you've been living. And there's a lot of emotions attached to all of those things. So recognize where it's coming from. Once we do that, you'll see how we'll be able to flip that. And if anything, regardless of what's going on, you're still going to be able to achieve what you want and feel good about yourself. So with all those emotions in mind, and like I said, with recognizing where they're coming from, what you want to do is you want to have a think, okay, I'm here now. I'm part of Strong and Sexy. I know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to achieve this for myself. And it could just be as simple as I'm trying to achieve this week, or this month, or my long-term goal is this. Now let's break it down and work out, what do I need to do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis to keep on track and to achieve what I want, okay? Once you're clear on that, and it doesn't necessarily have to just be a Strong and Sexy thing. It could be something that you're trying to achieve in your life, even if it's just more time for yourself, more organized at home, a new career path, starting your own business because it's something you've always wanted to do and it's what you're passionate about. Whatever it might be, what I want you to do is you recognize the emotion now. Hopefully you've spent some time working out where it's coming from, all right, and how it's making you feel, and also how it's making you act. Once you're aware of that, just keep it there for now. Don't worry about it too much. It's not going to stop us. We're just going to recognize it for now. What I want you to do now that you're clear on what you want to achieve, like I said, you've either broken it back down to daily, weekly, monthly, or you've just set yourself a little challenge or a target or a test to try and achieve this week. All right. What I want you to do is, what are the practical steps? And I mean practical steps, not the things that you're worried about or thinking about or anything else. These are things that are literally one foot in front of the other. I wake up, I pack my lunch, I do this, I plan that, I write that. They're practical steps. I go to training at this time, I'm working on this muscle group, afterwards, I'm gonna go pick that up, I'm gonna have my shake, whatever it might be. What are the practical steps that you need to do on those daily, weekly, or monthly, plans to achieve what you want to achieve? And once you know what those steps are, it's just a matter now of ticking them off, all right? And it's a matter of going, okay, cool, this is what I have to do right now. Forget about the emotions, they're still there, all right? How are you feeling about your stuff? It's still there, okay? But you're going to approach this in a practical way now. Regardless of how you're feeling, what can I practically do on a day-to-day basis, week to week and month to month, all right, to achieve what I want, okay? And that's all I want you to think about right now. And if it's as simple as just writing down some tasks that you want to try and achieve tomorrow or this week, let's do it now, all right? Even if you want to pause the video, write down 5 to 10 things that you want to do either tomorrow or this week. All right, and if you didn't pause, that's fine, but please take some time after this video to do that, because I want you to, be rid of your emotions in terms of letting them hold you back. I want you to be able to keep moving forward regardless of your emotions and how you're feeling, okay? And I'll show you what that will lead to, all right? Once you've got those practical steps and you've worked out the time frame for them, the number one, and I mean the number one thing that you need to be able to do is complete them. Actions. And I can't stress to you or explain or tell you the millions of stories that I have in regards to sitting down with clients, talking to women, dealing with people on an emotional and a practical level, and working out a plan for them to move forward with. Getting them to decide how they want to feel and what they're going to do to achieve that end result. To only watch nothing happen. All right? And I'm sure there's been moments in your life where you've put together a plan. You've decided on Monday, I'm doing this. For this week, I'm going alcohol free, carb free. I'm going to try this new food plan. I'm going to go try this new exercise group. Whatever it might be that you've decided to do on a practical step-by-step basis to achieve what you want, but then you fall short and you don't take action on it, or you take a little bit of action on it and not enough to end up with what you want, how do you think you're going to feel? All right, you've basically told yourself that, yes, I'm not feeling great, but regardless of that, I know what I need to do to achieve what I want. And we all do, all right? And even with your Strong and Sexy program, I'm giving you everything you could ever need to achieve what you want. But most of it all right? You've heard somewhere, or you know that if you just did that little bit more every time, you would achieve a better result. But then we lack here, all right? The actions that you take and the action of actually doing what you say you're going to do and committing to that and following it through and ticking it off is the most critical part, and it's where a lot of people fall short. And my whole point with this is that every time that you fall short, every time that you make up some sort of an excuse of why you didn't do it or whatever the reason is, you've just told yourself basically that I'm not important. What I want to achieve is not important. If it was important, you would do it. If I held, and I don't like to say this, but if I held a gun to your head and told you that you have an hour to do this, or tell me why, or gave you a deadline that was scary enough that would cause more pain than you not doing it, you would do it, okay? And I'm sure there's been moments in your life where you've seen that if you want it bad enough, or a child comes along that you're responsible for, or something comes up that you know you have to do it, because if you don't, it's gonna cause you more pain, or if you do, you're gonna get more pleasure than you ever expected in your life. All right, those drives, those motivators to take action, I'm sure you've experienced them in your life. But why can't we replicate that all the time? And like I was saying, if you don't do that and you tell yourself that it's not important, because that is what you're saying to yourself by not doing it, how do you think that's going to affect your emotions? Do you think you're going to feel better about yourself or worse? Do you think then, based on you feeling worse about yourself, you're then going to refocus and put some more practical steps in place? Probably not. And this is what tends to happen, is people do these things, they fall short here, they end up going back to feeling crappy about themselves. There's a little emotional meal attached to this, and they no longer want to take practical steps because they say they don't care anymore, they can't do it, and there's absolutely no action. All right? And I hate seeing that because, like I've probably expressed enough times, my biggest aim is to watch you all succeed. And I know that if you just break these things down into simple form, don't look at it a big thing. Yes, you might have 10, 15, 20, 30 kilos, 80 pounds, whatever it might be to lose. You might only have 3 pounds to lose. I don't care what the goal is. I want you to break it down into practical, realistic, short time framed tasks and goals, because if you tick those things off and you take the actions you need to, and you know that all the practical steps that you've laid out in front of you to do will get you the result that you want. And if not, you're definitely at least moving in the right direction, which is a great feeling. You're gonna end up down here, all right? And it's my, not very pretty, but it's my Mr. Smiley face, or Mr. Smiley face. And the whole reason why I put that there is because imagine you're feeling crappy about yourself. You have fear of the unknown, you have doubts and anxiety about being able to achieve what you want. And whether this program is the right program for you, whether whatever you're doing is going to work out for you, there's always fear of the unknown. It's always going to be there. Regardless of how great you're feeling about yourself, it's going to be there. And I love fear because it lets me know I'm alive. Lets me know I'm going into something that's going to push my barriers, increase the amount of attention and focus that I have to put into it, and I'm going to grow as a person through it. And it took me a long time to recognize that and to flip the switch to look at fear that way. And I would love to be able, over this time that we have together, to give you exactly that same tool and ability to think about fear that way. And if you are feeling crappy about yourself right now, but you follow our program and you do the practical steps that we lay out for you, and you focus on them, like I said, day by day, week by week, month by month, you will astound yourself in what you'll be able to achieve, regardless of how you're feeling. If you tick those things off, if you constantly take action, all right? Yes, you feel crappy about yourself, but I don't care. I'm committing to doing this for myself from now on. I'm trusting in the process, and I'm committing to doing everything that I know I need to do to get the results that I want. I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm not thinking about it anymore. I'm doing it, and I'm taking those actions. And guess what? It feels good, all right? It might seem hard now, and it might seem like it's a big effort, and it's a monumental mountain to climb. But that's okay, because we're going to go through it together step by step, all right? I'm going to be there to support you the whole way through the process, and so is everybody else that's going through this process along with you. And if you start to feel better about yourself and you start to realize, hey, I can do this. I've done everything that I said I would do. What type of emotions do you think you'll be having now? You're going to start to believe in yourself a little bit more. You're going to start to see results and go, hey, you know what? I'm looking better. I'm looking pretty good. I feel better about myself. I have more self-confidence and I have more self-worth. And the whole reason why you will end up with more self-worth is because you didn't tell yourself it wasn't important anymore. You told yourself it is important. That regardless of how I feel, I'm going to do it. And you become important then, all right? And looking after yourself becomes something that is a priority in your life and something that you're going to give yourself. It's a gift, okay? And as a woman, I often see so many women that are selfless. And it's one of my favorite characteristics of a woman, but it's also one of the biggest excuses on why they don't spend time on themselves. And you may not agree with me because giving is one of the greatest pleasures that we can have in life, and me being able to share this with you and give you the knowledge that I can to help you is one of the things I enjoy most in life. But if I didn't spend time working on myself, if I didn't spend time helping others, all right, feel better about themselves and them watching what they can do with that, you're never going to really feel that sense of empowerment and that sense of joy of realizing, you know, I am a special person. I can do this. Regardless of how I'm feeling right now, I'm just going to keep taking action. I'm going to write down the practical steps. I'm going to do the action that's needed for each single one. And you know what? I'm going to end up feeling a hell of a lot better because of it. And then, you know, we'll deal with the emotions and the beliefs and the fears. It's one of the biggest things that I'm going to help you with throughout this entire journey. And all I want you to focus on after today, all right, is literally, like I said, after this video, if you haven't done it already, write down 5 to 10 practical steps that you need to do on a day-to-day or a week-to-week or a month-to-month basis. I don't mind which one. I tend to think day-to-day is going to be better. Week-to-week probably is about as far as I like to focus on, because anything past that will be a direct result of what I've done daily and weekly. So focus on what you can control tomorrow. Focus on what your goal or your target is for the week. And if you do that consistently, the month's going to take care of itself, and so are your results. So again, go out, be great, be happy, and go into every day to get as much as you can out of that day with passion and determination.